Here are the three key things that I genuinely believe built my physique over the last 8 years. And this isn't just your usual, good nutrition, eating enough protein, sleeping enough. These are three things that I genuinely believe built my physique and can build yours too. So from when I first started lifting weights at the age of 16 years old, where I was skinny, unconfident, self-conscious about my body, to where I am now, where I'm more confident than ever, much bigger, much more muscular, and just proud of my physique as it is. So as I was saying, this isn't just your usual sleep a lot, eat a lot, train hard advice. These are three things that you've probably heard of before and considered before, but might not exactly recognize the importance of right now. So if you can start nailing these three things, if you can stick to them, if you can use them, you will no doubt build muscle, you'll no doubt improve your physique and see progress. So the first one, and the one I believe is actually the most important of them all, and the thing that laid the foundations of building my physique as a whole, is consistency. Now, it might seem so obvious and sound so stupid, like, well, obviously you have to stay consistent to see results, but I mean relentless consistency. Like over the last 8 years, I have stuck to training plans. I've stuck to programs throughout. I've had little time away from training, obviously here and there. I've had weeks off. I've gone on holiday. I've been away. But I've always stayed consistent with lifting weights. Consistency is by far your most powerful tool. You don't need to be doing everything right. You don't need to be training optimally, eating absolutely perfectly. That is by far not what I've done throughout my last 8 years of lifting. But I've always stayed consistent. No matter what, I've shown up, I've got it done, and I've put in the work. And if you can stay consistent with anything, the results will come eventually. So you don't need to be doing absolutely everything right. You don't need to be stressing about hitting your optimal macros every single day, but just stay consistent with the plan that you're on. That for me is the most powerful thing you can do. Like if you can stay consistent, you will no doubt build muscle, build size, and build a great physique. And you can see that from real life examples. People that don't even go to the gym, people that just work jobs that require a lot of physical exertion and a lot of physical presence and physical strength. They build a lot of muscle just through consistency. If they are lifting heavy things frequently for consistent years, they end up building a great physique without even realizing it. You see it time and time again. There's men out there, they don't lift weights, they don't go to the gym, they don't train, they don't particularly care about their nutrition, but they work a job that is physically demanding, and they work that job consistently for years. And what does their body do? Their body adapts to it. And that is what you're trying to force your body to do. If you can consistently train and consistently show your body, look, this is the stimulus that I need to adapt to, then it will adapt and it will grow no matter what. I do believe obviously that you need good nutrition, like to recover and to be as optimal as you can. But at the end of the day, the human body can adapt. It adapts to anything. If it hasn't got quite enough protein, you will still grow. You need to grow to survive. You need to adapt to survive. That is literally how we're built. So even if, say, you're not sleeping enough and you're not hitting your protein, but you're consistently doing these things that your body knows it needs to adapt to, then your body will grow muscle. That is just how we work. Obviously, in an ideal world, you will be getting in enough protein, you will structure your training properly, you will sleep enough, and therefore you put yourself or your body in the best position to actually make progress. But consistency above everything. So the second thing kind of links to consistency, but also kind of doesn't, and that is intensity. So without training intensity, your body will stay the same. This goes back to the adapt thing I just mentioned. You need to be training intensely and you need to give your body a reason to adapt. If your body doesn't feel like it needs to adapt, it won't grow. You need to give your body that stimulus required for growth. Put it this way, going back to the example of a laborer lifting heavy things. If he's lifting the same thing again and again and again, the same amount of weight, then your body will adapt to match that. So he might grow a certain size muscle so he can handle that weight, but if he doesn't improve and doesn't try and lift more weight, then his physique's never going to go beyond that. Training intensity, so training hard, is absolutely key for growth. If you're not pushing yourself, if you're not forcing your body into that state where it has to adapt, where it has to grow, then it never will. You're just repeating exercise, staying in your comfort zone, and that's what your body wants to do, and it's happy to do that. If it can already manage the load, then why does it need to add muscle to increase that? If you're not pushing yourself and you're comfortably lifting these weights, then your body doesn't see a reason to grow. It's thinking, okay, cool, I can handle this. This is absolutely fine. There's no reason to adapt. There's no reason to grow muscle because I don't need it. You need to give your body that reason to grow. It literally needs that stimulus to grow. And for that, you need to start pushing yourself, going outside of your comfort zone and training hard. That is absolutely key. So that is the second thing that I think has built my physique over the last 8 years, is I always go in with intention and I always train hard. There's no point just going through the motions, just lifting weights, lifting the same weights week on week just for the sake of it. You need to be progressively overloading, getting stronger and challenging yourself. Lastly, the third and final thing that I believe has built my physique over the last 8 years is constantly learning, constantly expanding my knowledge, trying new techniques, trying new things, which has been easy for me because I have such a strong passion for health and fitness, for bodybuilding, for powerlifting, for lifting weights, for the gym in general. So for me, it's been easy. That's all I've wanted to do, put my mind to it, and this is what I've wanted to learn about. So for me, that's been easy. But I truly believe that that has built my physique over the last 8 years. If you're not like me and you don't really have that passion, but you still want to build a great physique, then you either need to suck it up and learn it anyway, or you need to invest in someone that has that knowledge, that's done that learning, and that can guide you. This is really, really important so you don't get stuck in the past. What I was doing when I first started 8 years ago, I look back at now and it's a load of rubbish. Things have changed, training styles have changed, everything's changed completely. There's new science, there's new studies coming out left, right, and center about the most optimal way to train, about how to actually build muscle. And what we thought back then is completely different. Even the whole theory of how we build muscle, about how it's torn down, how muscle fibers are torn down and they grow back stronger, that's complete rubbish. And that's only been sort of proven within the last 4 or 5 years that that is not how things work. So if you don't want to get left behind, you need to be constantly expanding your knowledge. I know guys that are still training as they were 5, 6 years ago. Most of them still probably shifting the same weights, doing the same 4 sets of 12 on the exact same exercises. Nothing's changing and they're wondering why. It's because they're not changing, for one, their approach. They're not willing to learn about health and fitness, or they're not willing to invest in themselves into someone that can help them. Honestly, developing my knowledge, experimenting with new techniques, and just trying different things to see what works best for my body has been absolutely vital for building my physique. Just as much as it's a time game with consistency, it is also a learning game and finding out what works best for your body, what can get you the best results. So overall, if you combine the three of consistency, intensity, and developing, you will no doubt build a great physique. Building muscle does take time. For me, it's taken absolute years. Obviously, it didn't take me 8 years to build the amount of muscle I have now. I progressed the most in the first 3 years. So even within 3 years, I managed to put on 25 kilos of muscle and I went from looking like this to looking like this. So it doesn't take absolute years. Like, it doesn't take you 8 years to start looking decent. Even within a good 6 to 9 months, you can make a really, really positive change if you stick to what you're doing, put in the effort, and start to develop your knowledge as well. So if you guys did want to see my physique development over the last 8 years of lifting weights, head to my Instagram. I'll put the @ on screen here so you can see everything I've done over the last 8 years and how my physique has actually changed. If you did want to see a video on that, drop a comment below because I'll be more than happy to break things down and show you year by year how my physique changed, how things developed, and what kind of thing I was doing at the time. But yeah, that was the 3 things that I believe truly built my physique over the last 8 years. Obviously, good nutrition, sleeping a lot, resting a lot, and all these things did build my physique as well. But these are the 3 things that I think truly made the difference, and I think they can make a difference to you too. So thank you for watching. Please do consider liking, subscribing, and dropping a comment down below. Really, really do appreciate it.